Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us here on our Valley News Now desk. I'm Alex Larson. So this is a new thing that we're starting on these weekday mornings around this time frame. We're going to break down the latest we've covered in the Valley today, as well as what we got for the day ahead. So you can expect to see this streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and as well as our website during this time frame. So we're going to jump right into it this morning. We've got an update for you on a federal child sex abuse case involving a former West Fargo principal. Now, newly filed court documents say David George is expected to take a plea deal, entering a guilty plea to 3 of the 4 charges against him. So that means his trial would now be canceled. Police say George was found with more than 600 images of child sex abuse material, and he's accused of driving a child out of North Dakota with the intent of engaging in sexual activity. A change of plea hearing is set for May 28th, and the U.S. Attorney's Office says they will recommend a sentence of 40 years. And we've got more details emerging after a SWAT situation on Tuesday. Now, this was in the 2600 block of 14th Street South around 10 p.m. Police say 33-year-old Santiago Resendez Jr. threatened to kill a woman, then barricaded himself and 2 kids inside an apartment. Now, that woman escaped by climbing through a window, and then she called police and told the 2 boys to wait in a bedroom. Officers say Resendez Jr. did refuse to come out of that apartment, and they could see him dancing in front of the window and playing loud music while refusing to comply with the SWAT team. And we're learning more about an arrest Monday in Horace. Now, this happened shortly after 3 a.m. This was at a business on Industrial Drive just south of town. The owner of J-Tech Mechanical reported to deputies that he was watching a burglary happen in real time through their security system. Police say this guy, 38-year-old Timothy Loseth, drove a stolen pickup through a gate and then used it to ram the door of the building open. That was before putting items into his truck. Authorities also say he did threaten deputies in that process as well. Now, Arctic Cat in Thief River Falls. It's now been sold, and back in December, if you remember, the company did announce that production at their facilities in Thief River Falls, as well as St. Cloud, would stop sometime in the first half of 2025. Now, that followed layoffs involving about 65 workers a month earlier. Former Arctic Cat executive Brad Darling and an investment group announced the purchase from Textron yesterday. Textron issuing a statement wishing employees a bright future. And seniors of a North Fargo senior center are expressing concern after the Park District officials announced they may or they may not renew their lease. Now, they attend the Broadway station, and they're now fighting to keep their community center open. So their lease ends soon, and with a rise in rent, officials have got just 6 days to decide to keep the place open. We'll hear from someone who goes to that center right now.
Expensive to run that place. So it seems like this was all fatalistic. We were destined to fail, no matter what.
So we did get a statement from the director of Valley Senior Services detailing the possible change. If you want to check it out as full response, you can find that on valleynewslive.com or, of course, our free VNL News app. All you got to do is click on this story. Fargo School Board is approving an early resignation for its superintendent, Dr. Rupat Gandhi. Now, he requested the date be moved to June 5th due to conflicts with his personal schedule, and the board unanimously approved that request. Incoming Superintendent Corey Steiner is set to start with the district. That's going to be happening July 1st. And 2 million metric tons of methane. That's about how much the city of Fargo's landfill has captured since its collection system has been in existence. Our chief meteorologist, Russ Thomas, got an exclusive look at how that collection system works to keep methane out of our atmosphere. Let's take a listen.
When it comes to reducing pollutants in the atmosphere, the landfill might not be the first place that comes to mind. Think again.
This system has captured and destroyed or reused essentially the equivalent of 2 million metric tons of CO2.
Scott Olson, the City of Fargo's Solid Waste Utility Director, says the Fargo landfill is the only landfill in the state that utilizes an active gas collection system that pulls material out of the landfill and distributes it in a creative and cost-effective way.
A portion of it goes to our on-site landfill generator here, which uses that material to run in an engine and produce electricity. And then the heat from that generator is used to heat our building.
Olson says a large majority of the work happens right here.
There's a bunch of treatment processes that happen here. These big tanks are H2S treatment, hydrogen sulfide treatment, to knock down any of those really high hydrogen sulfide numbers. That's a pretty dangerous gas, so we want to control that best we can.
The initial planning and implementation of this endeavor came with a roughly $2 million price tag. But Olson says the effectiveness of this system on the health of the atmosphere in the Fargo area far outweighs the cost.
It pays for itself, so there's no real added expense to anybody for this system, and it destroys gases from going to the atmosphere.
In Fargo, Russ Thomas, Valley News Live.
And we do have a heads up for drivers. The Red River Structure Repair Project kicks off next week. That's along I-94. And that's going to start Monday night. I got a graphic to pull up for you here. So traffic's going to be slow near 8th Street in Moorhead, while I-94 will be reduced to one lane. That says crews work. Lane closure is expected to be in place through May. DOT says the work is needed to extend the lifespan of the bridge connecting Fargo and Moorhead. Full project is not expected to be completed until October. And it is that time of year when folks are preparing to get back into the lakes and the pools. And that's also why May is National Water Safety Month. Now, swim instructors want to remind you to watch out for any potential drowning, but no, it does happen silently, and that you don't have to be a lifeguard to help. Even wearing the right color swimsuit can be a preventative measure you and your kids take. We'll take a listen.
Black, that can, even if your lake is like clean or your pool's clean, it can blend in, especially when light is reflecting off it as well. Keeping those bright colors, so like a bright pink, a bright yellow as well, those are fantastic.
Yeah, and we know a lot of people are ready to get back onto those lakes and those pools, all that fun stuff. Well, check this out. Let me play this for you. We had some big news last night.
The 18th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Gray Zabel, guard.
Well, you heard that right. Offensive lineman Gray Zabel joining an exclusive club of Pro Bison. That was last night after hearing his name called 18th overall in the first round of the NFL Draft. Now, Zabel made history as the third first-rounder in program history and the highest drafted offensive lineman ever. Now, Zabel is not just the highest Bison lineman ever selected. He's now actually the highest selected offensive lineman to ever be picked from the FCS level. You can see him right there watching the draft in a room with his family in his hometown of Pierre, South Dakota, as his name was called by the Seattle Seahawks. The All-American and national champion is now the fourth offensive lineman from North Dakota State drafted by an NFL team since 2021. Now, Zabel joins some elite company of Bison legends, Carson Wentz, who was drafted second overall back in 2016, and Trey Lance, who was selected third overall in 2021. They're the only two who are in front of him. Now, again, we got a beautiful day ahead of us here in the Valley, and it's one I'm particularly excited for. However, our First Alert Storm team has raised a First Alert Weather Day. That is coming soon. I'm going to pull up our website for you here and show you how to navigate that just a little better here. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm sharing my screen with you here over on our website, valleynewslive.com. So we're going to hop on over to the weather tab here, as you can see. Looks like meteorologist Lisa Green just updating this a short time ago. Beautiful wrap to the week before a mild but increasingly cloudy, rainy weekend. We're going to scroll down. It looks like we got Fargo. We're looking at 36 degrees right now. We're going to hop all the way up to 65 around 4 or 5 p.m. Scrolling a little bit more down, our 11-day planner, I'm going to pull that up because Monday is the First Alert Weather Day. You can see thunderstorms there, high of 71, but don't let that deceive you. Lots to be aware of as we head on into the weekend. But again, we will keep you updated online and on air as that progresses. Now, that is about all I got for you this morning. Again, we do have a very beautiful day ahead of us today, so get out and enjoy that sunshine. Remember, you can stay up to date with us online and on air, as well as with our VNL News and weather apps. For now, I'm going to sign off. I'm Alex Larson. I'll see you right here again next week for the Valley News Now desk. Have a great rest of your Friday.